So today, I thought I'd talk about a good question. The question is this: do you choose freedom or bondage? And you're probably saying, Lee, of course I chose freedom. I'm going to question that. Because are you living in bondage right now? Are you living with the past controlling you? Are you living up to the expectations of others instead of determining your own expectations for yourself? Are you living your history instead of living to your future? Let's explore this, if you will. First, I think it's important we talk about what are we referring to here? You see, bondage to me is an experience. It's not a person, place, or thing. It's a state of belief. It's a state of believing I can never be a millionaire. You're bound by that belief. It's a state of being that my father and grandfather, my mother had high blood pressure. Therefore, I have high blood pressure. I have a belief because of DNA. And yet, Bruce Lipton, in his studies of the biology of belief, shows that cells respond to their environment. If you put cells in an environment, they will continue with their DNA testing. But if you put them in a positive environment, you can change the DNA of the cells. What does that mean? It means if you create an environment around you, you can change your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, and physical DNA. You see, it's a state of belief. The question is, are you building a state of belief of bondage or one of freedom? Bondage, taking it further, is a state of mind that we create. And until we realize that we've created our own bondage, we cannot begin to understand how to become free. Did you hear that? Probably ticked you off, didn't it? That we create our own bondage. Our mind, our thoughts about life, about ourselves, about other people bind us. But if we're in love and we accept ourselves where we are, we accept life where it is at this moment, we accept other people where they are, we're not bound by our judgment. Our judgment is one of the greatest things that binds us to an experience that's not where we want. So what have we come? What have we created here? Here it is, gang. Bondage is a choice. It's a choice on where we focus in life and how we focus in life, how we see ourselves in life, how we see others in life, how we see life unfolding in front of us, how we understand, am I a victim or am I a creator? It's a choice. It's a choice we make with every thought we think, with every decision we make, with every feeling we choose to have. Most of the time, bondage is a choice to continually bring the past into the now. You see, the now is perfect. The now is freedom. The now means there's nothing there until we decide what we're bringing into the now. And when we bring in the past, we're bringing in bondage. When we're in a relationship and we've had prior relationships, let's say you're 50 years old and you've been through 2 marriages, you've not had very good luck with dating, and all of a sudden you meet a partner, and this partner seems to be going great, but then you remember your past relationships and what these partners were like, and you start having the expectation that those same things are going to happen with a new partner. You've destroyed any possibility of having a great relationship because you brought the past in when the past does not even exist other than in your own mind. Do you get that? Do you really understand what I'm saying there when I say the past does not exist other than in your own mind? If you don't bring it forward, it disappears. If you've neutralized it so it no longer has an emotional charge, it doesn't affect you anymore. It's a choice, my friends. Bondage is also a choice to subordinate ourselves to others. Do you put other people above you? Do you think other people are better than you? They're not. They're just unique. And because of their uniqueness, they're different. Don't ever subordinate yourself to someone, and don't allow anyone else to subordinate themselves to you. I do that all the time as a minister here. People want to put me on a pedestal, say, don't do that. I'm on the same path as you are. I have the same powers to use that you do. I'm teaching them. I'm learning every day. I don't raise. We had this discussion the other day, my wife and I, and several other people that we were with in class. I said, who would you subordinate yourself to? And someone asked me, would you subordinate yourself to the Dalai Lama? I said, no. The Dalai Lama is a person just like me. I met Sadhguru. He's a person just like me. I didn't subordinate myself to him. I respect him. I respect everyone. But I would never lower myself to anyone else. I would be grateful to see their uniqueness and how comfortable they are being that. Don't ever subordinate yourself to anyone. No one in the planet is better than you because no one is like you. Everyone is unique. So if you embrace your uniqueness, you can't possibly compare yourself to others because it's a moot thing. You can't do it. Bondage, again, is also a choice to live with unrealistic expectations for ourselves. You heard me. If you have an unrealistic expectation, you've bound yourself to something that cannot be achieved. A lot of times these unrealistic expectations either you have set for yourself or you've let someone else in your life set and you have blindly bought into. And it may be an expectation that's not on your path. It takes great courage to be independent and to set your own realistic expectations that allow you for expansion and growth. I'm not telling you to stay status quo. Don't think that at all. But set a realistic expectation. Can I be kinder today than yesterday? If you can do that, you're going to have a great day. Someone says, well, I want to be healthier and I'm overweight. Can you lose a half a pound this week? Realistic expectation. If you can you do that for a year? If you can, you've lost 26 pounds. But if you start off and say, I want to lose 26 pounds, is it realistic? Does your mind believe it? Or can your mind believe a half a pound? You see how I break it down? I'm using weight because it's an easy thing to do. It's measurable. But you can do this in any aspect of life, whether it's money, your career, your relationships, your spiritual practice. Do you have an unrealistic expectation? I'm going to start off meditating 30 minutes twice a day and you've never meditated? Set a realistic expectation. I'm going to do my best to meditate 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the afternoon. And then in a week, I'll increase it to 6. In another week, I'll increase it to 7. You see, you're freeing yourself. You're not bound by an unrealistic expectation. Our ability to comprehend and connect to the infinite determines our level of bondage. When we truly understand and realize that we are an individualization of the infinite and that we have infinite possibilities to us, the idea of bondage disappears. This is where meditation comes into play so deeply, because it's here we're connecting to something greater than us. we're realizing that we're more than this body, we're more than this mind. We're actually infinite consciousness expressing uniquely through the filter that we are of it. And when we get that feeling of connection to the infinite, bondage and limitation cannot possibly exist. So, my friends, we become free when we choose to be present and authentic. We choose to be present in this moment, not bringing any of the past into the moment, and being authentic, meaning we've taken the time to learn about who we are, and we live that authenticity in every moment. Because if you haven't determined who you are, the law of averages, or an average experience of the society in which you're living, your family, friends, will control your life. Freedom means to live above the law of averages. It means to realize that you are not a statistic, but rather a unique individual, not bound by others' opinions or the experiences of others. The law of average is the collective consciousness of those around you. And if you're not conscious in your deliberation, that energy of the people around you, who you surround yourself with, will have a huge impact on how you live your life. Remember, when they talk about mortality, when the doctor talks about this type of recovery time, it's a statistic. I'm not a statistic. I'm Lee Wallach, and I'm unique. When I embody that, I take myself out of the law of averages because I'm building beliefs that are unique and serving to me. Freedom also comes when we choose to become detached to outcomes. We create desire. We become the person who would be the person that had that result. And we forget about an end result. And guess what happens? It becomes our reality. But when we're attached to an outcome, we've actually become a prisoner, because we're probably telling this power that creates all things how we want it to happen, instead of letting the power that creates all things create it in the perfect way, in a way that we cannot even imagine in this moment. So we have to become detached from how the outcome happens and become the person who's kind. And by becoming a kind person, we experience more love. It's the natural outpicturing of it. Your greatest freedom comes when you begin to choose you. You are the single most important thing in your life. You came here to be unique. And in your uniqueness and choosing you, you allow others and give them the example to choose themselves. And then we come together in our uniqueness as the perfect pieces of the infinite puzzle of this life. And realize that this puzzle of life is forever changing, just like you and I and everyone else is. Remember, you become free when you choose